Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predicted 11 for Manchester United's game against Real Sociedad in the Europa League. I'm going to go with the 4-2-3-1 formation. Start with the man between the sticks, David De Gea. David De Gea was in goal in Manchester United's 1-0 win against West Ham. After the game, Erik Ten Hag praised De Gea. He made some fantastic saves in that game to deny the likes of Declan Rice, Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio and Kurt Zouma. On my last video I give you some news regarding David De Gea. David De Gea will accept a major pay cut to stay at Man United. His contract at the club expires at the end of the season, but there's an option of an additional year. David De Gea earns £375,000 a week. He's endured around 11.5 years or so at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He's won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances for Manchester United. And as you all know, De Gea is going to miss the World Cup. That was confirmed not so long ago. Right back, Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot obviously played against West Ham. I thought he put a good performance out, put some good crosses into the box, got forward well. Dalot's enjoyed a lot of good games this season. He's featured in every game so far. He's our first choice right back under Erik Ten Hag. There's no way back for Wan-Bissaka now. Don't forget, Dalot scored in Man United's last Europa League game against FC Sheriff. That was Dalot's second goal for Manchester United. Dalot's contract at Man United expires next year. Manchester United got him from Porto, paid around 19 million. The two centre-backs, I will go with Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez. Obviously it was them two in our back line against West Ham. To Harry Maguire's credit, I thought he put a good performance out against West Ham. It was his first Premier League start since the embarrassment at Brentford. Lindelof's also an option at the back, but I think we'll stick with Maguire and Martinez. Varane can't play because he's out with injury. Varane came off injured in the 1-1 draw with Chelsea. It was a thigh injury and Varane went off the pitch in tears. But revert back to Harry Maguire. He was out of injury earlier on this season. Man United overpaid for him, got him for 80 million. Revert back to last season, the vast majority of Man United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. He could leave United next year. Lisandro Martinez, he did well against West Ham. He's done really well since he come to Manchester United. Manchester United got him from Ajax in a deal worth 57 million. Left back, I will go with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's been impressive in the last few games he's played. Luke Shaw, don't forget, did have an injury earlier on this season. He is injury prone, is Luke Shaw, which is a concern. He has endured around 9 years or so at Manchester United. His contract at the club expires next year. Obviously Malassi is an option at left back as well, but I think we'll go with Luke Shaw. The two centre midfielders, I'm going to go with Fred and Christian Eriksen. I don't think Casemiro will start this game. He may come on in the game. Fred didn't start against West Ham, but he did come on. And he was unlucky not to score because he hit the post towards the end. Fred played very well in the 2-0 win against Tottenham. He scored in that game. His goal took a deflection off, was it Ben Davies? Fred is still getting starts even though Man United brought Casemiro and Christian Eriksen in. Christian Eriksen, he played against West Ham. He got the assist for Marcus Rashford's goal. It was a lovely cross by Christian Eriksen to pick out Marcus Rashford. You know, Eriksen's done really well since he's come in. When Eriksen officially signed, he signed a 3-year contract. McTominay's an option at centre midfield, but I don't think he'll start, but he may come on. Donny van de Beek, you know, he's also an option as well. He's no longer injured. Attacking midfielder, I will go with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes obviously played against West Ham, did alright. Fernandes, as you all know, won't be playing against Aston Villa this weekend. That was confirmed not so long ago. On the left wing, I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford. He'll retain his place. Rashford scored a header against West Ham. It was Marcus Rashford's 100th goal for Manchester United. What a goal it was as well. Rashford should have had more than the 1 goal against West Ham. Don't forget, in the last Europa League game, Rashford came off the bench and scored. He's enjoying a very good season. He just needs to be more clinical. I give you some news on Rashford earlier on. It said Manchester United want to extend Marcus Rashford's contract by January amid PSG interest. Rashford's contract at the club expires next year. There's an option of an additional year. Marcus Rashford back in September got named Premier League Player of the Month. He's been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. On the right wing, I'm going to go with Anthony Elanga. Elanga, of course, played against West Ham. Anthony and Jadon Sancho are not available for this game. Anthony is out with an injury. He didn't play any part against West Ham. And Jadon Sancho is out with illness, so they're not options on the wing. And centre forward, I'm going to go with Anthony Martial. I think he'll come in for Ronaldo. Martial recently returned to training ahead of this game. Martial's not played that many games this season because he's had quite a few injuries. Last season, he was out on loan with Sevilla. He's under contract with Man United until 2024. Martial's been at Man United since 2015. Got him from Monaco. He's been at the club for a good 7 years or so now. So that's how I think Man United could line up against Real Sociedad. It is Manchester United's final game of the group. Regardless of what happens, Man United have qualified for the knockout stages of the Europa League. That was confirmed when Manchester United beat FC Sheriff 3-0. Manchester United, obviously in the group, have won 4 games out of 5, so if we beat Sociedad, that'll be 5 wins out of 6. Manchester United did lose the game to Real Sociedad at Old Trafford 1-0, but Man United shouldn't have lost that game. Man United were robbed because Lisandro Martinez got controversially penalised for the handball. Manchester United are obviously coming into this game on the back of a 1-0 win against West Ham. Like I said, Rashford got the goal. It was his 100th goal. Reflect on the win against West Ham, it moved Man United just 1 point from top 4, and we're now unbeaten in his last, 7 or 8 games in all competitions. Real Sociedad, they're obviously top of the group on 15 points. Real Sociedad obviously lost their last game in La Liga to Real Betis 2-0. They lost 2-0, yeah. Real Sociedad do have 7 players missing for this game. I'll name quite a few of the players out. David Silva's injured. He's a former Manchester City player. Mohamed Ali Cho's injured. Mikael Oyarzabal's injured. Sadiq's injured. Andy Martin's injured, and there's 2 other players missing. Let me put into the equation that Real Sociedad, don't forget, lost Alexander Isak to Newcastle in January, and they lost Adnan Januzaj, and Adnan Januzaj is a former Man United player. The Real Sociedad manager is Emmanuel Alguacil. He's been the Real Sociedad manager for a long time. At one point he managed Real Sociedad's reserve team. Man United did play Real Sociedad in the Europa League last year. Man United won away at Real Sociedad 4-0, but it was 0-0 at Old Trafford. Manchester United's next league game is Aston Villa. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.